All right, it's Prop the Mic. We are live, ready to bring you the big Friday pod to go through NFL Week 11. Can you believe we're Week 11 already? The Sunday main slate for NFL Week 11. We already dropped an hour-long podcast to X a little while ago. We ran through the second night of group play in the Emirates Cup for the NBA games. We ran through about 60 plays, called it down to a group of about 18 plays that we liked the best, that our model was really liking, and that we gave our further stamp of approval to. So it's been a busy day over here at PTM. We got a bunch of picks to get through for NFL. But before we get started, just want to remind everyone of the special promo we've got going on with props.cash to give PTM viewers 50% off, not just the usual 25, but 50% off their first month using code PTM50. You're going to see us using props.cash on this podcast and every podcast we do. So take advantage of the opportunity to try it yourself at 50% off your first month using code PTM50. What's up, Dave?
That's good. Yeah, definitely take advantage of that. I think we're going to end that pretty soon. So,
limited time only. Let's go.
Don't miss out. No, things are good. I really feel good about the NBA podcast we just did. Like Tom said, we just nailed a bunch of picks. We actually, if you watch that, we actually locked in on Christian Brown PR today, and just as we were posting it to the Discord, Jokic was ruled out, and that line shot up. So we locked in really good value there.
Yeah, so, Caesars was lagging behind though.
Caesars is still sleeping. So if you want to go check that out, they might still have it for 17.5 or 18.5 PR.
Yeah.
But anyway, today we're gonna continue our discussions on NFL. Let's dive right into it. We got a full slate. Thursday Night Football was kind of like
as usual,
but the DVP defense versus positional matchup kind of told us, like, we knew we were going to get a. Yeah, it said bet Saquon.
Yeah,
and all receiving props are not really great. AJ Brown, Saquon, and the rest of the receivers won't do it. So we should just listen to that. But
yes,
whatever. All right, let's move on to the Sunday slate. We got no European games. So first game is 1 p.m. We got Jaguars at Lions. Lions are minus 14 in this game. Total's 46.5. So that's unique, right? That kind of implies the Lions are going to score a ton of points in this game.
Yeah.
I think Mac Jones is at the helm there. And just looking at how these two teams line up, trying to get to this game. You know, the big thing to notice is that both these teams give up tons of passing yards, right? Jacksonville's giving up the second most passing yards in the league, and Detroit's giving up the third most. So I don't know if I have confidence enough to bet Mac Jones, but there are some opportunities maybe on that side, but certainly there should be plenty of opportunity on the Detroit side. So let's start off. What do you like in this one?
All right, I like start off with the quarterback. Jacksonville has the lowest quarterback pressure rate in the league this season. Was Arizona for a little while, but Jacksonville has surpassed them. Not only do they have the lowest quarterback pressure rate, they have the worst pass rush win rate, according to ESPN. And you combine that with Detroit. We know everyone talks about Detroit's offensive line, but the numbers back it up. They have the 10th best pass block win rate. So just a giant mismatch. Jacksonville, terrible at pressuring the quarterback, terrible at pass rush. And Detroit can stop them with the best of them. So Jacksonville's allowed the third most passing yards this season, 6th most completions, 7th most attempts to opposing quarterbacks. So I like Jared Goff over 222 and a half passing yards. Coming off that 5 interception debacle, he still cleared that line. But I think he's going to have a nice bounce back here. Going back home, he's always much better at home, dating back to last season. I think this is a nice bounce back spot for look at that at home. Really nice. So yeah, I love Goff to get it done here, especially you got the like you said, the high total 46.5, looking like a blowout. See some nice big completions to St. Brown. Let's see, nice Gibbs, breaking a little check down to Gibbs and he breaks one or something. Monty even can do that. So I love this. Sam Laporta, a lot of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, look at the quarterbacks that have passed for over 224 passing yards. You got Darnold at 241 last week. Jalen Hurts, obviously legit 230. Jordan Love didn't have a great game, 196, but then you had Drake May at 276 and Caleb Williams at 226. These are all, most of those guys are not like seasoned quarterbacks, right? And they're all dominating. All dominating Jacksonville.
Joe Flacco,
the legend,
359.
the legend Joe Flacco at 359. Imagine that. Imagine being like almost 40 and be able to throw for 350 yards in a game. What a legend. All right, so we like that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think you're getting value on this because of those two like 85 and 145 yard games. But just remember, Tennessee, we're going to talk about this in a second. Tennessee is the number one pass defense in terms of opposing quarterback yards. Pass yards.
Very good defense.
Throw that out the window and we're looking better. All right, so that's a quarterback side. You got any other plays on the Detroit side?
Yeah, on the where'd my notes go here? Yeah, so I'm like a broken record on this, but running back receptions against the Jaguars, we got to go there. So you can choose between Gibbs, 15.5 receiving yards. He's the guy. I mean, I love the hit rates there. Click on his home. I'm not sure. I didn't take a look. I just feel like they're just better. Well, I guess those two down games. But like you said, Tennessee, not great. I don't know what happened in that Seattle game. But I think this is a great spot for him. What's the hit rate on the season? 6 of 9 this season. Yeah, I like. Was this a play you were on or no?
Yeah, I'm a little cautious though because, like you said, running backs are fourth most receiving yards in the league against Jacksonville, so it is the right play. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if Jahmyr Gibbs is the receiving back or if David Montgomery is becoming the receiving back. Look what Montgomery's been doing.
Yeah, I wrote them both down. I actually like them both. I like them both in this game. I would take them both straight.
And they both had Montgomery had 3 and 2 targets over the last 2 weeks, and Gibbs had 2 and 3 targets. So
yeah,
rather than going all in on one and trying to pick it, I would maybe split the unit across both of them because I think one of them is definitely going to clear, and I think they both could clear. So maybe you do half a unit on Gibbs, half a unit on Montgomery, and then maybe even a half unit on both of them parlayed together.
Ooh, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
I wish you can alt it down to like 10.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like you can. But remember, the other option, if any books offer this, is you can always do like longest reception, maybe if that's offered for them too. So, all right. So I like that as well. I do also.
Real quick though. Big discrepancy in Montgomery. You can get him on DraftKings at 9.5, FanDuel 12.5.
Yeah, DraftKings just opened up even for Gibbs, 15.5 there, and FanDuel has them for 17.5. So DraftKings just released them. So I would jump on these lines on DraftKings because they're going to go up.
Yeah, for sure.
I think rushing for Gibbs too might be the right play. This line is moving up, but at 69.5, I mean, he's cleared the run. I just think they're going to have a big lead and they're going to be running the ball a lot in the second half. So I don't know, maybe rushing, maybe rush plus receiving. I don't know. The problem with them is they both get about 10 or 11 carries. So there's not a lot of attempts per running back, but it just feels like this is a game where one of them is going to get like probably 14 carries because I think they're going to be up big. So,
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Anything on the Jacksonville side?
No.
Don't dismiss it, man.
Don't dismiss it.
I was tempted. I was tempted to go with Brian Thomas, but he didn't really get much, in terms of looks from Mac Jones. Only 3 targets last week. But the one guy, again, remember we always talk about this, like inexperienced or new quarterbacks, they target running backs and they target their tight ends. And the one guy, Mr. Consistency, is Evan Ingram, right?
You're doing this in honor of Tim today, aren't you?
I am doing this in honor of Tim. So he had 8 targets last week, and I think the same thing's going to happen this week. I think he's going to get a ton of targets. It's not necessarily the best matchup, but let me see what opposing tight ends. Yeah, it's actually a bad matchup. Opposing tight ends are ranked 30th against Detroit. So it's, despite giving up a ton of yards, they are pretty good at locking down tight ends. But I wouldn't necessarily play him for the full 5.5 receptions, but I do like him for 4 receptions. If you recall, he's just a 4 reception machine, right?
Yeah.
Go back 30 games, he's had 4 receptions in 28 of his last 30 games. So if you want to create a builder, I think Ingram for 4 receptions is probably a good look.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice. Yep.
All right, let's go to the Vikings Titans. Titans are getting 6 at home. Opposing records, Vikings are 7-2, Titans are 2-7. Total in this one's 39.5. I just have one play in this game. Tom laid off of this game, but I'm just too excited about this. It was the first play I locked in this week. I like Sam Darnold under 240.5 passing yards. So as a Jets fan, you have to appreciate this play.
The Sam Darnold fade, yeah.
The Sam Darnold
I can get behind that.
So the reason why is, like I said, he's going up against Tennessee, and Tennessee is the number 1 defense. You can see here on props.cash, they're giving up 171 pass yards. So you look at the comps of opposing quarterbacks versus Tennessee. We just saw Jared Goff had 85 yards against them. But other than Josh Allen, who had 323 passing yards earlier this season, nobody else has gotten more than 206 passing yards. So I think this is a bad matchup for Sam Darnold. It's also a 6-point game, so the Vikings could be ahead and running the ball quite a bit. If you look top 10 defenses in terms of pass defenses, the Giants, here we go. The Giants, the San Francisco, Houston, the Jets, and the Rams, right? All of those are top 10 pass defenses, right? And the only one that Darnold cleared against was against San Francisco, right? The rest of these teams are middle of the pack to bottom, right? Indy, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So I think this is a bad matchup for him, and I think he'll come short of the 240. So let's play the under. Okay.
All right, I like it.
All right, let's go to the Rams Patriots. Rams are 4-5. Patriots are 3-7. Patriots are plus 4.5 in this game. Totals 43.5. Again, not a game I'm overly excited about, but I wanted to get your opinion on Kyren Williams in this game, who's going up against the Patriots team that's giving up the 4th most rushing yards to opposing running backs. Are you feeling Kyren Williams at all?
He's been pretty good, right? Let's take a look at his historicals there. Yeah, look at that. Hasn't rushed for less than 60 yards. Down a little bit over the last couple weeks, but
projected for 19.5 rushing attempts. So if you put him up to, go back to his rushing yards and you put him up to 20 rushing attempts, he's cleared this in 3 out of 5 games this season. So yeah, I don't love the full 84. I don't want to play that.
It feels a little high, right?
Little high, but I do really like him for 60 to 70. So keep a note of this. This was my only play in this game, but Kyren Williams for 60 rushing yards, and I've got 3 other running backs, I believe it was, as we talk through the rest of the slate.
Okay.
You could also consider for 60 plus rushing yards as well.
Okay. I feel like Christian McCaffrey might be one of them.
He is one of them. Actually, let's just knock out that other one. I'm sorry, I'm doing all the talking here, but the other one is Josh Jacobs. Actually, Josh Jacobs has I think the 2nd highest hit rate for running backs getting 60 plus rushing yards this season. Do you know who's the only running back who's ahead of him?
Saquon?
No, I think Saquon is tied with him.
Okay.
Might be slightly ahead, but the king, Derrick Henry, he's been dominating every game, right?
Yeah.
But again, look at this. A decent, really good matchup for him. Number 8th most rushing yards to opposing running backs. The Bears are giving up. It's obviously a rivalry game. So, and he's done this in, if you look at the full season, he's done this in, 6 of 9 games, and he's cleared the 60 in 5 straight games. So I think he's going to get.
Dude, I like it. I even like the straight line here on him. I think Chicago's offense is not good. 5.5 point dogs at home. I can see that line even going up a little bit more. I think Green Bay gets out to a big lead in this game and just runs away with it and just feeds that ball to Jacobs to keep that clock running. So not super confident in the Bears' ability to even keep this one close. So I think it's a great game script and spot for Jacobs.
Yeah, I mean, he's projected for 17 rush attempts, right?
Yeah.
You could see the games where he gets that many rush attempts. I mean, he had a game with 32 rushing yards, so he's cleared in 3 of 4 games when he's had 17 plus rush attempts. So, yeah. So Josh Jacobs over 70. What's the best line we can get? 71.5. Or you can do 60 rushing yards for Josh Jacobs plus Kyren Williams for 60 plus rushing yards. I like that too.
There you go.
All right, let's hear what Tom has to say. Let's move right into
the Jets.
The Jets. Colts.
All right.
4-6. Jets 3-7. Remember when you were asking me if you thought the Jets would potentially challenge the Chiefs this year for the AFC title?
Did I never said that.
I mean, I don't know if you used those words, but I could feel that energy.
Feel it.
I could feel that energy and that thought process go through your head. And now the Jets are just struggling to be 500, but whatever.
It's bad.
What do you like in this one?
Could be one of my favorite plays of the week. I love Anthony Richardson in this game. Rushing. The Jets have allowed the 7th most quarterback rushing yards this season. I thought this was a great comp. So I just said the Jets 7th most quarterback rush yards per attempt this season. You know who has the 6th most? Houston. Look what he did in the 2 games against Houston. 56 and 45.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson. So like great comp on the list here to the Jets in terms of what they're allowing to opposing quarterbacks. Also of note, the Jets are tied for the most quarterback rushing touchdowns this season with 5. Kyler Murray ran for 2 last week. Just the last 5 weeks alone. Look at anytime touchdowns for quarterbacks the last 5 weeks. Kyler Murray 2. Then they had the game against the Texans. CJ Stroud didn't get in the end zone. But the 3 weeks prior, Drake May 1, Russell Wilson 1, Josh Allen 1. I think Anthony Richardson's getting in the end zone. I think he's going over 38.5 rushing yards. You can get his anytime touchdown for plus 215. I think even you put those two together, the rushing yards plus a touchdown. I love Anthony Richardson in this spot against the Jets. Kyler Murray was just doing what he wanted. He didn't end up with a ton of yards, but like when he wanted to run, he could. The Jets defense, they're just not good. They're weak.
Sad statement. I think you're missing. I love this play, and I think you're actually missing the most important factor here. This is a statement game for Anthony Richardson, right? Look at the last time Anthony Richardson played. It was in October, right?
Yeah.
You remember, I think it was the last 2 weeks he was benched for Flacco.
Yes.
Because of the fact that
the comments he made, right?
The comments he made in that Houston game, he took himself out of the game because he was tired, which was just like trashed by the media. And then the Colts, kind of felt like he lost the locker room a little bit.
I think the owner didn't want him
he's
out there. Yeah.
He's going to come out here and have a lot to prove. So, instead of like sliding for that first down, he's going to be lowering his shoulder. Like
I love it. I love this play.
I could see him getting this in the first half. Like, I think it's going to be one of those games for him.
Yeah.
So.
Ladder up his rushing. What's the highest he's got? Go back to last season. What's the most rushing yards he's had?
I feel like he was a better runner.
Look at 56. He's a 56. Look at that. 56, 56, 56.
56. All right. We're going to bet over 55 and under 57. All right. Parlay those two together. He's getting 56 today.
There you go.
On Sunday. All right, cool. Anything else in this game?
No, that's it. Hammer this one.
All right, let's go to the Ravens and Steelers. This is a fun game. Both teams are 7-3. Steelers are getting 3 at home. Total's 48.5. Both teams give up big passing yards. Ravens number 1. Steelers aren't far behind. They're top 10 as well. I have a sneaky play in this one, but I'm going to let you see if you pick up something in that same area first. What do you like?
First of all, I heard some crazy stat about the Steelers home dogs to their division rivals. These two teams, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like 18. Like the underdog has won outright. I think like there's like 18-6 or something like that in their last however many meetings. The underdog, and when these two teams match up, so could be in for a great game, as these AFC North games usually are.
Steelers +3 is what you're saying.
Steelers +3, yeah. Let's go.
I like that.
I'm waiting for lines to come out, because running back receptions against the Ravens are a prime target. But nothing on Najee here yet. But I see you're in agreement with me. I'm just looking at Najee's rushing the last 6 weeks. He's just been an absolute. Oh wait, no, hold on. I have a couple filters on there. Last 4 weeks, yeah. But
that's not a good matchup, right? Baltimore.
No, that's not a good matchup. No, I was trying to get to his receiving yards, and that popped up. But I don't know. I don't think there's lines out yet. So
it's nothing
much to talk about.
But not just Pittsburgh, not just Baltimore. Baltimore is giving up the 9th most. The 11th most receptions to 8th most receptions to opposing running backs. But Pittsburgh's also given up the 11th most. So it's actually a good target for both teams' running backs. So here is my sneaky play in this one.
All right. Hit me.
Derrick Henry, receiving yards. Now, 5.5 receiving yards.
Yeah.
He's only hit this in 50% of games. But the sad part, this reminds me of the NFL pod we were just doing, with potential assists. But he's only had 1 target in each of the last in 5 of the last 6 games, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't get a lot of opportunities, but he generally catches them, right? He's actually caught. It looks like he's got 1 reception, right, in each of those games. So he catches what's thrown to him. It's usually just a screen, and then he barrels his way to 3-4 yards. So I would love this if we can get this for 3 yards. And I was thinking, I don't know if I want to play this to start the game. So let me look at what his first and second half splits are. Where do those catches come? So if I look in the first half, over the last 6 games, he has 0 catches in the first half, 0 targets in the first half, which means that all of those targets came in the second half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And even back here, he had a target in the second half.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, I don't know what the line will be at halftime, but if they have a live line on Derrick Henry, that 5.5 might drop down to 2.5 or 3.5. And if you can lock that in, he's gonna get a target in the second half. So so I think that might be the play. We'll be kicking ourselves if he gets 1 in the first, but whatever. It's no harm if you don't.
No, I like it. This game is going to be tight. It's going to be close. They're going to be needing to make things happen in the second half there. And I could just envision that happening. Yeah,
absolutely. All right. The other opportunity here is opposing tight ends for receptions against Baltimore, right? So Baltimore is giving up the most receptions, I believe, to opposing tight ends. Not necessarily the most yards, but the most receptions. So if you look, tight end for Pittsburgh is Pat Freiermuth. So he hasn't really connected quite as well with
Russell,
Wilson,
yeah.
as he has with Fields before that. Thank you. So I'm a little hesitant to play the yards here, but what he has done is he's caught 2 catches in every single game this season, regardless of who the quarterback is. So
all right, put it with Ingram.
yeah, exactly. So maybe we put a builder out with Freiermuth 2 receptions. It wasn't available yet on FanDuel, but it should be soon. So I think that's a good look if you're
it's there now, minus 400.
All right, so minus 400. So you'll probably need 3.
So we got a tight end. We got a tight end builder coming together here.
I already got the 3rd leg. We'll get to that one in a minute.
Very
so
nice.
All right, so those are the 2 sneaky plays in this one. Let's go to the Falcons, Broncos. Falcons are 6-4. Broncos 5-5. Broncos are -2 in this game. Totals 44.5. What do you like in this one, Tom?
I love Denver in this one. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
So that is one. You could put them together with Pittsburgh. Maybe that might happen. I love quarterbacks against Atlanta. Atlanta's allowed the 3rd most completions on the season, 24.1, and since week 6, even better. 5th most passing yards, 2nd most completions, 2nd most pass attempts. And then I thought this was interesting. Oh wait, a couple more stats to go through. So Denver has the #1 pass block win rate by far. 76% pass block win rate. Number 2 is Philly at 69%. It's a huge difference. Everyone else is all bunched up there, 69, 68, and then Denver far and above everyone else. And Atlanta has the 6th worst pass rush win rate. So huge mismatch on the line right there. You also got Atlanta going to Denver, Mile High, and coming from a dome in Atlanta. So a lot of things against the Falcons here. I love Denver in this spot. So I like Bo Nix. You look at who the teams are you got his season stats up there. There you go. So who are the good teams to target quarterbacks against? Baltimore is always at the top of that list, right? He had 223 yards against Baltimore, 33 pass attempts in that game. Tampa Bay, another one that's at the top of that list. He had 216 yards against Tampa Bay, 36 pass attempts. And you know who else is close to top? Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, we just talked about it. Yep.
Yeah, 246 yards against Pittsburgh, 35 pass attempts. So I love Bo Nix. This is 211.5. I love his passing yards line here. I think this is great. Atlanta's a great comp to those 3 teams that he's done really well against. He's just done well this season in general. Look, he's thrown over 200. Throw out the Jets game, right? That game was I don't know, there was weather and whatnot. There was no offense in that game. And then the first game against Seattle, this is first game of his rookie season, right? Other than that, he's only missed this once. He's only gone under 200 yards once. We need 211.5. So I like that. I also like his pass attempts over 30.5 in this game as well. I like both those spots for him.
And
30. Yeah, go ahead.
No, and remember this New Orleans game, we actually bet him on that game. He had 130 something yards at halftime, I think it was, right? And he was dominating.
That's right.
It was just a blowout. So they basically didn't throw the ball in the second half. So he was pacing for 250 yards in that game. So if you consider that, I don't know. This is not going to be a blowout this game. This is going to be a close game. So if you think about competitive games, which they've been in, right? And the Chiefs secondary is good, right? And he just threw 215 against them. So this is a no-brainer. I like Bo Nix.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Rookie of the year?
He's making a solid case for it. That's for sure.
I mean, he's definitely one of the more, Jaden Daniels is probably got a more compelling story there, but he's certainly a close second there. So
Yeah.
All right. Any other picks in this? Anything on the Falcon side?
Yeah, I like Bijan. So running back receptions against Denver, another prime target. I like his over 25.5 receiving yards. You could see his last 4 games there. Did it creep up to 26 everywhere?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still looks
Okay.
the hit rates
Yeah,
still look
I
good
think
there.
I think it's still good. And I think uh, 3 receptions for him is an awesome builder leg. He's cleared that 9 to 10 games this season. So Bijan, there you go. Bijan 3 receptions. Throw that in with we're putting a little receptions builder together here with Ingram and Fryermuth, and maybe add Bijan to that list, and we got a real high hit rate receptions builder coming together.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm making a note. Yeah, I had Bijan as well. I think also Algier is probably a good look as well. Although
Another one in honor of Tim. Yes.
yeah, I mean you can literally get him for 1 yard on DraftKings for -115. So he hasn't had a catch in the last 3 weeks, but this is a great matchup for it. The Chiefs who just played Denver. I was looking at it. Let me see any excuse to talk about the Chiefs, but look at Kareem Hunt, who's not known as a receptions guy. Look how many targets he had against Denver last week. 10 targets, right?
Wow.
So the Falcons are going to play the same playbook, right? They're going to be throwing to their running backs all game. So I do think Algier for 1 reception is like a no-brainer too, right?
Yeah, I think that's for
1 yard. Yeah.
1 yard. That's what I was gonna say. I thought it was 1 yard. Yeah.
It is 1 yard, which is different than 1 reception because you can get negative yardage. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Anything else in this one?
No, that's it.
All right, let's go to Seahawks 49ers. Seahawks 4-5, 49ers ascending at 5-4 with the return of McCaffrey last week. Niners are -6.5 in this game. Total's nice, 47.5.
Yeah.
Let's just start with McCaffrey. You like anything for CMC this week?
Yeah, I like it all. I think running back rushing against Seattle. They've been a top rushing target all season since week 4. They've allowed the second most yards before contact and the second most yards after contact. Always good. That's one that typically should be inversely related. But when they're both high like that, that means running backs are just having their way with the team. So I think McCaffrey rushing is good. Look at his last 4 games against Seattle.
Yeah, and you gotta figure, like, I'm not sure what his splits were last game, first half, second half.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, but you got to figure he's comes back probably a little bit hesitant, right? Like, but I mean, he had a monster receiving game last week.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that one.
Yeah, go ahead
and get on this line now, because this was 78.5 on DraftKings last night. You could see it's already up to 82.5 on DraftKings today.
For the rushing yards. Yeah,
for the rushing yards. Yeah. And then and receive. Yeah, it's really moving up. So, and then receiving since week 4, Seattle has allowed they've allowed the most yards per reception by far, 17.5 yards per reception to running backs, and the 3rd most yards after catch. So they've been having their way, and he was awesome in his return last week. Was targeted 7 times, had 6 receptions, 68 receiving yards. So I don't know how you want to play this one. The rush plus receiving. You want to do something like 60 rushing yards and 25 receiving yards, probably feels pretty nice, right? That's 85 all-purpose yards, kind of.
I mean, look at the receptions too. Four receptions. I mean, he had 7 targets last week.
I know.
So there's a million ways you could play McCaffrey. You could take him for 60 and play him with some of the other players, but I do think just going all in on McCaffrey in this game in some or multiple ways is the way to go, because he's gonna be a beast in this one.
Yeah, great spot for McCaffrey all around.
Okay. Anything else in this game?
Yeah, we're just obviously is the theme to this podcast and most PTM NFL podcasts in general, running back receptions. San Francisco has also been a target. Ken Walker over 24.5 receiving yards. He had 8 receptions on 8 targets. He was 8 for 8 against the 49ers on October 10th for 37 receiving yards. So
Yeah.
I like his receiving yards in this one as well.
Yeah, you got some good comps for running backs. Rashad White had 39 recently.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker, the 37. Antonio Gibson, 67. Aaron Jones, 36. Kyron Williams, 27. So
yeah, Brees Hall, another one. Yep.
Yeah. So lots of good options there. Their secondary is tightening up. I think Gino's going to have to dump the ball quite a bit. So yeah. Let's do it. I like Kenneth Walker. I also I was looking at his rush attempts. It's like right on the edge. He's at 13.5. He had 14 in that game against San Francisco. He had 25 rush attempts in his last game. So I think, it's even though I think they'll be trailing, I do think they're going to want to run the ball to keep the ball out of Purdy's hands. So I do think this is a potential opportunity, and some of the other books had this one as high as 14.5. So, but not my favorite play, but just another option for Kenneth Walker.
All right.
Let's go to the game of the week. Chiefs, Bills. Could truly say this is the game of the week finally, right? I mean,
yes.
This really is an awesome matchup. 9-0. Chiefs 8-2. Bills. Bills are -2 at home. 45.5. I mean, this is like really going to be, a storybook type of game, right? Like they always are exciting. Like they always end in like a last 2-minute drive or something like that. So lots of options here. When I was researching this game, not a lot of the lines on the Bill side were out. I don't know who was missing on that. I think
because the receiving core is just like decimated, right? So
yeah. But yeah, tight ends are a good matchup for both teams. So I was looking at both. I was looking.
Kincaid.
I was looking for Kincaid and Knox. I don't know if they're available at this point. Did you see anything on them?
Not yet.
Yeah, neither of them. Oh, I'm sorry, that's rush attempts.
Receiving. Yeah, Knox has got some stuff out now.
So Kincaid must be out if Knox has a line of 26 and
a half. Yeah. Kincaid's out. Coleman's out. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's got lines. Yeah.
So I think that's an opportunity, right, against the Chiefs. We've been talking about that all season. Just gave up what they give up 77 yards to Cade Otton. Adam Troutman, I don't even know who that is, 34 yards. Brock Bowers, 58. Kittle, 92. Juwan Johnson, 31. So just tons of yards to tight ends this season. And to me, it's a conscious effort, right? Like they're just not giving up the long ball, and they're focusing on giving up short passes. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's working out. So I think that's an option there. Anybody else on the Bills that you like?
On the Bills? No, I didn't have anything on the Bills.
Okay. What about on the Chiefs?
Stick with the theme. Kareem Hunt. So Buffalo has been the #1 running back reception target all season long. They've allowed the most targets, the most receptions, the most receiving yards, and he got a great comp to Buffalo last week against Denver, who have allowed the 4th most targets and receptions to running backs, the 5th most receiving yards to running backs, and Kareem Hunt had 10 targets, 7 receptions, and 65 receiving yards in that game. So let's take him at 15.5 receiving yards in this matchup. I mean, he just proved he can get it done, and now he's getting an even better matchup than he had against Denver, against this Buffalo Bills team, who's bleeding yardage, targets, and receptions to running backs all season long.
I don't know if it's bleeding or if it's intentional, right? Like I think they might be, giving up. You know, when you see both the running backs and the tight ends getting the yards, like it might just be a conscious effort to like, you know, avoid the deep ball and give up short yardage.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, I love this. We've cashed on Perine 2 straight weeks at 7.5 yards, 6.5 yards, I think, and 7.5 yards.
Yeah.
And then the books are like, we're not offering that again this week. So I would say if Perine comes back up
hammer that one too.
That one, because he's been getting 20 yards every week. He's the third down back. But the fact that Hunt, like we said, had 10 targets last week kind of proves that they're trying to use him in a different capacity. And like you said, this is a perfect comp for the Denver game. And I think this is going to be a tight game. So there's going to be a lot of third downs where they're throwing the ball, you know, as opposed to trying to run the ball. So yeah, I think it's an awesome play.
Yeah.
All right. I had that one as well. I think his rushing and receiving is also probably a good look in this game. You know, I mean, look what he's done so far this season. You can get that. Let me see what I had it for, like 82.5. It looks like it's up to 84.5 on most books. So that's an option. But I'm with you. The receiving, I think, is the way to play him.
Yeah, I see Mr. Betts from the boot had a little. He's taking issue with our rookie of the who we're touting for rookie of the year. I think Mr. LSU didn't like us saying Bo Nix would get it over Jaden Daniels. So sorry, Cliff.
All right, we'll buy you a po' boy, and we'll be all good, brother. We're gonna get him on the show soon. He wants to talk college hoops with us.
Yes.
All right, and the other option here is really tight ends. I think Buffalo's giving up the 8th most receptions to opposing tight ends. Like I said, just like the running backs are getting big yards. So yards and receptions. So I think, you know, the question is, do we go with Kelce, the expensive option at 6.5, or do we go with my boy Noah Gray at 1.5 receptions? What do you think, Tom?
I don't know. I feel like this game is like the Travis Kelce game. No, like this is.
I mean, Noah Gray's got a decent history against Buffalo.
He does, yeah.
You know, so far this year, he's been targeted. You know, he catches every ball pretty much that's thrown to him, right? I mean, look at the target chart and look at the receptions chart. I think he's only dropped 2 passes this year. That doesn't even mean he dropped them, right? They could have been uncatchable. So he's, you know, if he gets the targets, he gets the receptions is the point. So he could be a value play, but I do agree in a game of this magnitude where, you know, the two teams could be potentially playing for the AFC number 1 seed. I think Kelce gets a lot of run. His snaps have been up of late. His involvement in the offense has been up of late. He's had 12 plus targets in each of the last 3 weeks.
Look at that trend line, you know, on his targets and his receptions.
So I think he was like still on the the era tour here, and I think now he's like, you know, he's back to business, ready for the playoffs. So I like Kelce for 7 receptions. I think he's going to sail over that this week. So let's lock that in.
I do too.
One other option in this game, if you want to put a builder together, you can do Allen. This is pretty conservative. Josh Allen for 175 yards, Patrick Mahomes for 200 yards, and Travis Kelce for 5 receptions. That got you close to plus 100 as well. So I thought that was a nice little safe builder. Yeah,
that feels good. That feels real good. Yeah.
So, all right. Any other plays we had for this week?
That's everything I had.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, we got Bengals, Chargers Sunday night. No plays right now for that, but we'll get some stuff out in the Discord for that. And then we got the Monday night game as well, which we'll cover on Monday.
Yes, sir. Cliff says he's eating a po' boy right now.
Good man. Good man. Yeah. Get ready for your weekend.
All right. Nice work. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Check out the NBA Friday night pod that we already posted up on X, and go through these picks. Pick your favorites. We got some nice builder legs in here. You can work up a nice builder. And if you want to see what our final slate of picks are, come join us in the Discord, and get the full slate of VIP picks from not just Dave and I, but from the rest of the PTM cappers. So nice work, Dave. Enjoy the games this weekend. Let's all make some money.